This is the second video of my small series about the whole Lotta Love riff, and in this video we'll talk about how Jimmy played the riff in the following years live, and it's very interesting because he changed it a lot. So let's get right to it. For the first year, from 1969 to 1970, he was playing just like on the record. If you haven't watched my first video, check it out. There are some important pointers about the original riff. So basically we still have the unison bend and the E power chord. So we're playing basically just like on the record. And you can hear this obviously on the original recording, on the studio version, and the Royal Albert Hall performance from January 1970, and BBC Sessions Disc 1. But then he started to change the riff by the later half of 1970. The first thing he did was he actually stopped playing the fifth of the E chord, so he was just playing the E note, the low E string, and the octave on the A string. We lost that aggressive sound of the E chord. I think it sounds a bit more fluid. We're sort of giving more emphasis to the rhythm, right? To the groove. So it feels a bit more natural for the right hand, because we don't have to, change the angle of attack for the D string. We're just playing the A string. And we're still leaning against the low E string a lot, so it still has that punch on the low end. So basically we have 3 strikes on the low E string, basically. But we do have this variation where we pick the A string twice instead of just once. For example, this is just once, this is twice, and I think this is more common. So it's a very interesting sound, I think. I think it sounds cleaner. I like it a lot, actually. I tend to play it this way very often. Yeah, he still played it consistently. He still had that gallop feeling and that low end punch. Now this version can be heard on countless bootlegs from 1970 to 1971, 1972, but especially on the second disc of the BBC Sessions from the Paris Theatre, and also on How the West Was Won. He played it like this, and I actually think he started that one on the bridge picket for the extra bite. So What happened then is that by 1973, they, for some reason, changed the arrangement of the song. So instead of starting with just the guitar, they actually would start with the whole band. So now Jimmy would actually lean more on the band to give the low end and the groove, and who just start fooling around with the riff. You can hear this, for example, on the song is the same, the original soundtrack version. It's very interesting because he will not even play the first B note of the riff, because on the original version of the riff we start with a B note. But very often he will not even play that first note, he will just it gives it a different vibe, right? And he will also sort of play around and play the G note instead of the D note. Yeah, he was just basically fooling around with it. I think he will not even play the low E string sometimes, which sounds funny. He was just playing it whatever way he wanted, basically. You can hear this on many 73 bootlegs, which I really like listening to 73 bootlegs. I don't know exactly why, but then in 1975 he started to play the E chord again. And he would extend the power chord to play even the E note on the G string, and sometimes even the major third. So basically, starting from 1975, he was playing with the barré on the 9th fret. So, and another thing is that he changed the strumming pattern. He lost a lot of momentum because he's not banging on there's not that constant galloping on the low E string anymore. And because they reverted back to the original arrangement where the guitar starts alone, so now it sounds a bit more empty, I think. And you can see him, playing with his hand like this. You can hear this on any 75 bootleg. A very interesting lick he started to play here. This is awesome. It's very cool. Very cool. And then towards 1977, 1979, he was playing it, just strumming it very aggressively, almost in a punk rock vibe. I think it's very rad. And then he came up with another small lick, which you can hear on the Nebworth version, which is this. the Nebworth version also has the infamous Inside Out variation of the riff. If you want to learn that version, just check out this video right here. As you can see, not even Jimmy played this riff the same way forever. He would always change it. Even today, he started to play more like with a bit more of a muted feel, the Celebration Day version. So yeah, it's very interesting to see how Jimmy changed the riff through the years. Some have their advantages, some sound cooler than others, and it's a very personal thing. Personally, I like the original version and the 71, 72 way the best, because it still has that, you know, that low end punch to it. But yeah, it's a personal thing. I gotta admit, even the late 70s version is cool. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you next time.